So that's the indicator that we're about to start. We'll be underway officially at 9 o'clock. My clock on my computer just rolled over.
Mine did too.
So quiet on the set. Mute your microphones, except for Tess. I think, Tess, you're emceeing, and take it away.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to 1 Million Cups Fairfax. We are very, very excited to have our presenter ready to go, and I hope that everybody will be very attentive so that we can have great conversation and have some questions and comments later on after the presentation. Next slide, please. The Kaufman Foundation works with communities in entrepreneurship and education to increase opportunities that allow all people to learn, to take risks, and own their success. This is a national and local mission, and we, through creating a consistent educational experience for each 1 Million Cup presenter nationwide, while also highlighting the uniqueness and value proposition in each local startup community. So this is going on nationwide every week, same time, same bat channel. Our key pillars here is these are presentations, not pitches. They're authentic connections, not networking. They're run for the community and by the community, radically, intentionally inclusive, which means we would like to thank everybody here who has shown up. That if you don't show up, we obviously don't have a community. So we are ready, rocking, and ready to go. So this is our 1 Million Cups organizing and ambassadors team. If you would like to join us, we would love to have you. So please reach out to any of us. You can scan that QR code as well. Welcome, visitors. For those of you that are new, if you would raise your hand, and when you're called on, would you introduce yourself and your company name and how you heard about us? Trying to look and see real quick if there's anybody with their hands raised. I'd like to introduce yourselves.
No noobs.
No noobs. All right. So if you could check in on the website, the easiest way to do that is to scan the QR code. As you can see, we get metrics over on the right-hand side for attendance, and we would love to make sure that you're included. If you have joined us last week and you did not check in, you can do the same thing from that QR code so that you could be added in to the most updated metrics from National.
Hey, Tess.
Yes.
Emmanuel has a hand raised, I believe, new.
Oh, thank you for that, John. Emmanuel, please introduce yourself. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Emmanuel Biedemariam. I'm a travel agent, a concierge service provider in Washington, the Metro DC area, and everywhere else. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Emmanuel. So just best practices, we're going to play nice in the sandbox. So let's not try to tear anybody down. If we have any questions, clarifying, any clarifications, if we could please be polite, we would appreciate it. So we have our sponsors, and over our space sponsor is George Mason University, the Enterprise Center in Fairfax. There is another location, so we want to make sure that this is the Fairfax location. This is where we meet on the first Wednesday of every month, where we have a hybrid meeting. So we do both virtual and in person. So Eddie Hill is the director there, and that's a great place, co-working space and incubator. If anyone is interested, please reach out to Eddie. And I don't think Jennifer is on today's call, but our coffee sponsor for this month is the Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce. The executive director is Jennifer Rose. And I have the pleasure of working with her on several networking events in the city. So the chamber is a great place, not just for networking events, but also for some business education. So please check them out. And just as a side note, we are working together, we meaning the Old Town Fairfax Business Association, the Chamber of Commerce and the Fairfax City Economic Development office on an event this week, which is which is the Fall Crawl in Old Town Fairfax. So we would love for you to join us. The three of us leaders from those three entities will actually be the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus. So we would love for you to come support local businesses and local restaurants and take a walk with us around Old Town Fairfax this Saturday. Next slide. So with that, we would love to turn this over to our presenter this morning. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome, Ben.
I will share my screen now.
There we go.
Can you see my screen?
Great.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tess, for the introduction. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ven Chava. I'm the founder of Connect AG. We are providing AI digital assistant solutions to small and medium businesses. Glad to be here this morning, sharing some real-world case study of AI digital assistant avabot in action. So it's a tradition at 1MillionCups to start with a challenge question. So today's challenge question is, what is the best marketing and campaign strategy to penetrate small and medium businesses? Please keep this in mind while we go through the presentation, and I would appreciate if you can share your thoughts on how best to go forward. So I just want to give some background information. We started in 2019. I actually presented at 1MillionCups when the product was in idea stage. And the original idea was developing a omni-channel contact center with AI bots as a feature. And I presented the idea at 1MillionCups, and there was a great feedback from one of the attendees that it's hard to compete with incumbents. There are 800-pound gorillas, and this space is saturated. Why not focus on the artificial intelligence, AI bots? And that got us thinking, and we seriously went back to the drawing board and realized that that's the right feedback, and we incorporated that, and we changed our product strategy completely upside down and made AI digital assistants as the primary product with telephony and other channels as features. Fast forward, obviously, back in 2020 and 2021, we lost time due to COVID, and we went through significant issues. I lost my team. We had to re-platform the entire solution, and we were back in product development in 2022. Made a successful trials in early part of this year, and I was again at 1MillionCups and got some feedback. And we got our first paying customer in July, and in fact, today's discussion is about sharing, how that went and how we are seeing digital assistants in action. So thank you, 1MillionCups, for valuable feedback. So to start with, just to give some examples of small medium businesses pain points. They are very sales oriented, not so much in customer experience and customer journey mapping and so on and so forth, which are done by big businesses day in and day out. So if you are dealing with small medium businesses, customer service, customer interaction has a lot of friction. They really don't have good contact centers. You try calling someone, for example, in an auto dealership, and it goes to an outsourced contact center. They just take your name, number, and say they'll contact you back. And I've had bad experience. I could never get in touch with a service advisor at an auto dealership with that kind of outsourced contact center. And with sales guys, you play phone tag. In summary, small media businesses don't have enough skilled, trained employees 24/7 for customer interaction. I'm very sales oriented, and you're on your own. If you have specific question, you wait, you try to call them, and the websites do have some information, but they fall short, and so on and so forth. So the problem we are trying to solve is to supplement their skill set with digital assistance and affordable technology, and most importantly, after-hours care. So just a little bit of introduction about avabot. Ava is a digital AI assistant. At its core, Ava is a knowledge engine. She can answer specific customer questions on any channel, telephony, SMS, web chat. And it's more than a chatbot, not just answering questions, but it can take down messages from customers, create tasks, distribute the tasks to the employees, and summarize customer discussions. This level of interaction provides valuable insights into customers' thinking, which is not possible otherwise. All you get today is a website clicks and a lot of analytics, but it doesn't exactly tell you what the customer is thinking and what are they looking for. And there is more to Ava. It also has a very sophisticated but simple to use contact center technology. So Ava can put in touch with an employee or an agent through any channel. So it's a chatbot with AI technology and a contact center solution in one. So with that introduction, I want to, the question is, why use Ava? Now, for those of you who remember, there was a skit where Luther, played by Michael Key, he was acting as an anger translator for Obama in one of those annual press club meetings. I think of Ava not as an anger translator. Ava doesn't get angry at all, but as a knowledge translator. Ava can incorporate a knowledge of your business, knowledge of your employees, and translates that knowledge into answering specific customer questions. So the question is not why use Ava. The question is why not? Almost at zero cost, it's very low cost. You are getting a skilled employee that works 24/7, taking care of customer questions and customer contact related issues. So a little bit about the competition. AI is a hot topic. Just about every business says that they are AI enabled. And many of them do have AI chatbots, either first generation or the more recent open AI-based ChatGPT incorporated in their chatbots. But many of them, what we have seen is they have legacy thinking, and they are legacy platforms. It takes a lot to deploy that. They have tools. You have to design. You have to spend a lot of time in making that work for your business. And many of them are not omni-channel. You get chatbots. A lot of them do not have SMS or voice, other channels integrated. And if they are, they're extremely expensive geared towards big businesses. So Ava is designed as a pure AI solution that can incorporate omni-channel, any channel to answer and integrate with contact center. So that's our primary, and of course it's low cost. That's our primary differentiation. So I want to talk a little bit about the main topic of today is the case study. We have deployed Ava on a web channel with a flooring vendor, flooring contractor who has a large showroom in Fairfax County. These are real questions that have been asked by customers. I have a couple of answers that Ava provided. Which carpet do you recommend to hide dog, waste? You can get some of these answers from Google, but they're not specific to the business. What the business product line is, and what you're recommending. Ava can do that. Ava can answer a question right then and there in real time, and it's pretty nifty in how it does. So going back, with Ava's introduction on the website, customers can get specific questions answered, and they can connect to an employee and agent if they're available to further interact with the business. So the feedback that we got from this case study is that customers do love the product. And how do we know? Ava has a sentiment analysis enabled. So based on the sentiment analysis metrics, we know that the customers are very pleased with the answers. And Ava can provide deep knowledge into what customers are thinking, not just website clicks. You have specific questions and specific answers. You know what customers are looking for. And surprisingly, we have seen with the interactions that we have had, employees are not resistant to this new AI technology, despite what we are hearing outside with all the strikes from labor. Employees are pretty open using AI technology. On the negative side, especially with small, medium businesses, what we have observed is that they really don't have bandwidth to provide a lot of information that makes AI digital assistants effective. They do not have good IT systems, CRMs, to integrate. That's what we have seen. So, and also because of the legacy in the way chatbots are integrated with the website, the click rate is very low. It's literally 1 to 5%, at the best 10%. So not many people know what it is and click and spend time in interacting. And we have also seen who are resistant to AI technology, website developers. We tried partnering with a few of those. I think John is online. John is our advisor, helping me with some of the business development. He knows. John, are you there?
I am here.
Yeah. So John can talk about this, but our experience is that website developers are a bit cold on this technology. They feel that this might take away their business, search engine business, and so on and so forth. That's the feedback we got. So I just want to summarize. Based on our few months of launch, we do feel that AI is real, it's working well, and there's a huge market for digital assistants. Almost every business can use this technology and will use this technology in the next few years. And small, medium businesses, are a challenging space. They are very price sensitive. They don't have good IT technology to integrate into. And one of the things we are working on is try to change the way AI digital assistants are presented on the website. For example, the chatbot logo needs to be revised, and we need to have a better mechanism to incorporate digital assistants onto website. One of the things me and John, we did was to put buttons in context on many pages saying Ask Ava. So not just a corner of a page that shows a chatbot logo. I think that seems to have some positive effect. And lastly, SMS contact center. We are one of the few, if any. Most of the businesses who are using SMS are mostly used for marketing and sending alerts. We haven't seen a good SMS-based contact center to interact with business. I think that has huge potential. One of the key things it solves as compared to web chat is the identity. You know who the customer is with with an SMS without logging in, which is not possible with web chat. So I think we will be concentrating on that, but that does require a lot of education. Customers need to understand what it means. It's also a little bit more expensive than the web chat because of the SMS. So those are the lessons learned, and it's positive all in all. So we are ready. Our product is ready to launch into next level. We do intend to go forward with a campaign in the next month or two, and we are at a phase where we need dollars, people, and partners. And here is an invitation for anyone here listening. You can be, we'll be happy to work with you either as a customer, partner, advisor, or even as an investor. So any questions, I'll be happy to answer. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I need to unmute. I will be the moderator for today's conversation, Ven. And so for people who have questions for Ven or suggestions and comments, please use the icon to raise your hand. And then I will recognize you. You can unmute and move on with your questions or comments from there. So Melinda is up first. Melinda, go ahead and what do you got?
Okay, I've got questions right now. And you said you're low cost. I'd like you to define what you consider low cost. And then when you said SMS contact center, do you mean like customer service? Is that what that is versus the web chat? And I'm just curious because I've always had problems with some of the bots on, let's say, Amazon. When you want to get to a live person, maybe you can talk about that, because sometimes the AI help just can't get you where you want to go. You've got to talk to the live person.
Yeah, thank you. There are three questions in that. The first thing is a low cost. Just to give an example, if you want a contact center, almost 90% of the businesses, you have to pay per agent. They range anywhere between $100 to $200 per seat. You can get started with us at $50 and unlimited number of agents. So we really don't care about the seats. It's just pay as you go. Mm-hmm. So that's our business model. And you can get sophisticated contact center, and that can answer questions all, starting at $50 a month. And, I think that price range is unbeatable. Very few, if any, has that kind of price range. And in my last job as an executive at a bank, I spent $10 million purchasing a branded contact center that can do, sophisticated, large contact center. So large businesses do spend that kind of money. So this price range is unbeatable. So that hopefully answers your first question. The second question, I believe, was it the chatbots experience?
Right. It was you had said SMS contact center versus web chat. So
if you have a question, today, if businesses can advertise just like a phone call, an SMS phone number, just send an SMS. You don't need to download
That's true.
any app.
Right.
SMS is built into every single phone. Just fire off your question. Ava will answer immediately. And if you want to talk to an agent, you just tell Ava, hey, get me an agent. Ava will get you an agent and will talk to you on SMS right then and there, just like web chat. I don't think anybody has that today. We are probably the world's first to do that. And what's the added advantage? You can do SMS contacts, anywhere, anytime without downloading an app. And you don't need to be in a session, like a web chat, you have a session, like a phone call. There is no such thing. You can have SMS, after 6 hours, after next day. It doesn't matter. And your identity is known, so customized responses are possible because the contact center knows who you are based on your phone number. That's not possible with web chat unless you log in. How many people want to log into a flooring guy or a plumber or, it's impossible. You may log into Amazon, you may log into Microsoft, but you will not log into any other website. However, nobody, is offering that. We are probably the first one to do that. The third question is, I think, Amazon and getting a live agent.
Yes.
That was the question. I'll be happy to show our demo. You just say, Ava, I want an agent, and this is my, issue. Ava will get you based on, it's called skill set routing, which is available in modern contact centers. Ava can do that. I have a question about billing. It'll get you a person with billing, who can answer billing. It's simple. It's easy.
John Rutenberg, I believe you may be next. I hope I had my head down, so if I put him in front of you, John Foster, I apologize. Go ahead, John Rutenberg.
No, John Rutenberg is by far the number one. Go, John.
I just wanted to bring it on for a moment. Let Foster have the moment. Yes. Hey, guys, good morning. And Ven, I had the pleasure of chatting in advance and talking some strategy and stuff. It's so cool. In response to your challenge question and in listening and looking at the slides, the customer examples are from companies who have consumers as their customers. So that in response, what is the best marketing strategy? To build on that is to narrow down. And as we talk, what's the meaning of SMB? Let's talk about companies that are 5 to 100 people. The pain points are real, even there may be different pain points at 100 than at 5 or 3. But the after hours, the ability to get on the phone from my car and get an answer is really great. I think in building the marketing strategy, the educational part is really important. And whether it's you want to get to a demo and a free trial or some kind of introduction, and maybe it's a series of videos, but there's a lot of meat on the bones, sir, and I applaud you. So my thought is narrow, find companies B2C, and I'll let Foster give you the correct answer.
Thank you, John, for that.
I don't know about the correct answer, John, but Ven, I really appreciate your presentation. Certainly, this is an area that's, AI and bots. I mean, it's growing exponentially. I am curious. Congratulations on your first paying customer. I guess, and this kind of goes back to John Rutenberg's question. I think one of the things to help us help you is to understand, who your ideal, client would be, because that way it helps us to, help us to help you better. So I mean that's kind of my question as far as from an ideal standpoint, who would that be?
Well, drawing from my own experience and talking to others, almost every service-oriented business that has large B2C type of interaction would be our ideal customer. We are working with our initial thought is to work with local businesses, because just like what we launched, right, the flooring guy, it's a success. Although the click rate is relatively low because of the legacy issues with the chatbot. People don't like to click those bottom right buttons
right.
Because of the historical nature of chatbots providing less than sufficient good customer experience. For those who have used, they like it. So our initial target market is local service businesses who don't have enough technology, who don't have 24/7 contact centers after hours and all that. That would be our initial market. We are working with real estate agents. We're working with some HOAs. A lot of these guys don't have any sort of customer contact centers, and that's what we're thinking right now. So as our initial customer base.
If I may go next, take control for a second. I'm curious, Ven. John Rutenberg, a number of weeks back, talked about the valley of despair. That's the period in your business before your break even. Mm-hmm. At $50 a head, I imagine that you need to gather a ton of folks as clients, but how many do you really need in the near term in order to meet your business plan? In the event even that you can't find capital?
So we have estimated we could launch about 30 to 60 businesses per month. We have automated a lot of knowledge engineering, and one employee can launch 30 to 60. So even if we don't get any immediate funding, I think we can go at that pace, something like, conservatively 20, 25 businesses per month.
So you're really talking about finding and onboarding a ton of folks.
At that price range for the basic Q&A type product, yes. However, our business model calls for, a higher level of enterprise CRM integration and other things, which do not require, that kind of numbers. But that does require us to have more funding, more sales by people, more employees and all that. That would be our phase 2. Phase 1 is about growing with what we have and launching a few hundred small businesses in the next, 6 months to a year. Because we all know that it takes about a year to really raise funding and grow into the next phase. So what we hope to achieve is, not necessarily cash flow positive, but to get into a good cash flow and weed out all the bugs and make sure that the product is scalable.
The reason that I asked the question is for everybody else here, knowing the scale of your desired results will help drive the marketing direction. Standing on a street corner in Fairfax City waving a banner is not going to get you a few hundred customers over the course of the next year. So that's a marketing channel you don't want to pursue. But the same is true for some of the others. Melinda, next round.
Sure. Everything that we're talking about is really, really good. So I'm strategically thinking, what businesses can you penetrate that might be needing things like this? And one of the things I thought about is Amazon started out as a bookstore. There are other bookstores like Thrifty Books and other things that I have discovered since, where I find great books for really cheap price and they're used. I don't care. There might be a library edition. I think these companies that do this would be a great niche for you to go after, because they don't seem to have any of that deep customer service or other things as part of it. And it may also take you to the Estes of the world and other things like that that are doing retail online, but needing that AI support to go along with their customer service. And I guess that was why I had asked the question. So I like the idea of starting local, but it may not be possible to find all the types of clients you want in the greater DC area. And you may want to say, okay, let's try a bookstore, let's try a retailer, and go after some of them specifically, do some research, look what they've got, look what they don't have, and then take it to the next step to find out who you need to talk to and say, hey, you've already started doing this, you've got things, and this is how you can improve. Because one of the worst ones ever, and they are local, is Amazon. I mean, you may decide as soon as you get your ducks in line and everything else, you need to talk to Amazon because their stuff really stinks. But I also, when I've done things like this, I have like big goals and little goals. And I agree with your little goals because that's the bread and butter to give you cash flow right now. But start some of the bigger engines going by identifying some of these other industries. Come back to us. We can help you with defining some of these industries. And that will give you the other part of your plan that you need to start it today, because you're going to want to research what they're doing and make sure what they've got and what they don't have, and maybe even competitively find out how deep is their AI. So you can go back to them and say, we're better, but you don't say that. You can just say, we could take you to the next level. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. And that might be a way to
absolutely. Thank you so much.
Mr. Rutenberg, another round?
Sure, please. So Ven, you've actually defined a strategy, which is to pursue service companies, and let's just say in the DMV or whatever. You know, if somebody happened to be in West Virginia who was another flooring contractor, that would be just fine also, I think. But so therefore, what the pain point that you're solving is ultimately for that business's consumer, right? Because Ava is talking to that flooring company's customer and routing that message to somebody somewhere in the flooring company to handle it at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning as follow-up, even though Ava gave the correct answer in the evening, or whatever are the workflows attached. And that's extremely powerful. And bringing that out in whatever media is central at a tactical level, because that the business owner is going to relate to, because all of a sudden it's solving multiple problems at once. Okay, number one. Number two, the low, medium, and high pricing, I think, is really important because, and you probably, or I don't know, does Ava come in different levels of technical ability currently, or is that future development?
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Yeah, can you have the $50 per month product, which has certain functionality. Are there currently higher level products to introduce to people?
Yes, you know, the contact center solution certainly is a higher level product. We haven't determined the pricing of it, but it will be somewhat, as I said, we don't charge per agent.
Right. Whatever is the pricing, to be able to see the gold package and the diamond package and ultimately the platinum package is cool. And even so, to have 2 tiers in the beginning, I think helps proactively, because in the 500 companies you want to touch over the next 90 days or when you begin, educating them with the right material and getting the 25 per month or whatever you stated as the starting point, you're going to have some that need the platinum or and some who want to start with the gold. And I think it's advantageous to have both in the beginning. Because you'll hear different needs.
Yes. Agreed. We do have the product. We need to, as you said, produce the right material and present them as multiple solutions. Yes.
Good. Tess is up.
Oh, all right. First of all, the SMS messaging is brilliant. I worked with sports technology and worked with a BPO for our customer service for a couple of global sports products. And working with the BPOs, I think you're right. Training those customer service, that takes time and education. I think that when you're marketing this product, if you can have a couple of short educational videos, not just for your client, but to also show your client, hey, we have these educational videos to show their customers, the people that are asking the questions, why it's beneficial, how you can get basically instantaneous, response from your SMS. I would definitely market that part of it. And then when you're looking at businesses, I would look at the small businesses that are getting ready to scale up, meaning they've been established for a little bit, and now they're trying to decide whether or not to hire, additional support staff, because this may be a little bit more, as far as expenses wise, it would be more palatable, where for a small business owner, instead of necessarily having to worry about training a whole entire staff, they could do this, and they can invest their time and money in another part of their business. So that's basically where I would go as far as who to market and how to market. Definitely, I would always use education about how the use of ease, what the benefits are. But definitely short video clips I would use, and as far as marketing goes. And I'd be happy to, chat offline for some other brainstorming ideas, as well as some potential small businesses. That might be something that, you may be able to present to the Old Town Business Association or the Chamber of Commerce, any of those type of things where we've got a group of small businesses and entrepreneurs. That might be an avenue.
Excellent. Yeah.
So I'm going to grab back the floor as the moderator, and thank you for everybody who's been watching the hand raises for me while I've been dawdling. I recently attended a webinar, Ven, that I think may have some relevant things to say to what you're involved in. And it was a list of, I've mentioned it before in 1 Million Cups, I believe. It was a list of 7 different marketing channels, virtually identical to the bubbles on your slide. And so in distinguishing those bubbles, the presenter in that webinar said that the quickest, fastest way to gain customers is through speaking. So I'm going to layer this on top of Tess's great suggestion. And the idea is to speak anywhere and everywhere. So for example, as I look around the room here, there are small business owners in this room who you're speaking to, who should be getting excited about your technology and the opportunity to implement your technology in their businesses at $50 a month. Now, my understanding is that those businesses that are in the room can probably cut a $50 a month check. The cash cost is not the cost they're going to have to suffer. It's the time and energy and implementation cost where they're really going to have to make the decision. but I'm looking at people in the room. Some of them are nodding their heads, and you should make a note of who they are. But every place that you can get in front of a podium in order to deliver and refine your speech, and then move up to gatherings of target audiences at trade shows and conferences. If you can begin to get in front of the American Association of Floor Service and Installation Contractors with your story of success on your first floor service and implementation contractor, those folks will be a rich target. But that speaking in front of groups is the quickest way. Social media, the slowest way. But and you have to do more than one marketing channel from the bubbles that you've posted. But I want to suggest that you consider speaking engagements. If you can get in front of, a crowd of web designers and win them over, if you can get in front of a crowd of service center managers and win them over, but go where they are in large numbers and speak in front of them. So anyhow, enough said.
Thank you. Those are golden words. Yes, we are ready to crawl out of our, little bunk bed. And yes, absolutely, going in front of them, talking is the old school, but it's the right way of doing it. Absolutely, thank you. Since you mentioned that a lot of small business owners here, we do offer trials. And today, because we are starting, we are waiving any installation, any other fees. There's absolutely no cost to start, and simple Q&A can be done with very little input, mostly from your website and a couple of interviews. We do interview employees to gather the knowledge base. So here is an offer. Please send me an email, text me, whatever, and we can get you started with a free AVA. And
so I'm gonna poke you in the eye, Ven. What's the SMS telephone number for your avabot for small business owners to make inquiries about your service?
I will. I do have a web chat right now. SMS. Okay, let me remind you. SMS has a friction to start. We have to apply to a consortium to get the SMS number and tell them what we are using the number for. This is to protect all of you from the spam. Okay, all these marketers, they destroyed the email channel. Now they are on to SMS channel. So we do have an SMS number they can test with. I'll be happy to show you the demo today. But we are going very slow because I can't apply for 100 SMS numbers and get it tomorrow. It's going to be a case-by-case basis.
So if you could put the test SMS number into the chat, some of the people here may take you up on the opportunity to play in your sandbox. Mr. Ireland, you've been waiting patiently. Join the conversation.
Yeah, sure. I've known Ven for probably 10 years or so, and we've done a couple of small projects together. And I just want to, kind of fill in maybe some gaps that might be there. He's implemented the avabot on my website for NTP Technologies. It was pretty simple, just from a user experience. It probably took a couple of hours. But if you think about it, if I have to train an assistant of mine, a human being, I'm going to spend a lot of time training that individual. And then they leave in 6 months or a year. Then I have to retrain somebody all over again. The nice thing about this is once you start training and adding that intelligence to the digital assistant, you get the ability to keep that information and kind of expand on that information as opposed to having to reteach it. So when you talk about the cost of $50 a month and then additional cost of time and effort, your time and effort pays off quite a bit. The ROI is really high because you don't have to retrain anybody over and over again over the years. It just sits there and learns and continues to learn more and more. The other thing is on websites, one of the things that was we talked about and then implemented actually quite quickly was the idea of a learn more. You know, you see these things on these websites now, they kind of give you a snippet and then they hit the button that says learn more. Well, the idea of hitting that button and learning more, and up comes your digital assistant. And now here's a person you can ask any question you want to. So it gives you the sort of ability to add more information than trying to hit a button that says learn more and you get a page of words, right? That you then have to go find information that you're looking for, because those learn more buttons tend to give you a lot more because they don't know exactly what you want to learn about. You just want to learn more about something, right? So here's a way you click on the button and all of a sudden the bot comes up, you type in the question and it gives you the answers that you actually need. So I think that as a dynamic when it comes to interfacing is going to become more prevalent. And this is my personal opinion, is that I think ultimately the same way you know, when Google came out and all you had was one thing you put in, you know, one search, right? It just had one, you know, space to put in, to type in your, you know, what you wanted to look for. And it gave a whole bunch of results. I see eventually you're going to go to a website and that website's just going to have one open button. You're going to type in a question and it's basically going to then feed you the information in almost like a website form that's going to give you the ability to kind of look around more. But it's going to be a dynamic website that basically, and this is in the future, I don't know how far in the future, but it's going to give you a dynamic website of just the information that you asked about, as opposed to you having to go to a website and kind of, you know, do your own research and page through this and page through that, etc. You'll see questions.
So I have something I'd like to add from my 5,000-year-old tradition. Every year we get together, we gather the families and friends over a big feast, and we talk about 3 different kinds of learners. The first learner is a wise learner, but I want to talk about the 4th learner. The 4th learner is somebody who doesn't even know how to ask a question. And so when you have somebody who hits a learn more button, the assumption that they have a question is an assumption that may need looking at, because ask me any question. Well, I came here to learn more and I don't even know the questions to ask.
Kenny, with your dulcet tones, you could be the introductory commentary to make that person feel comfy to evoke a question.
Right. So that's
a use case to
By the
consider.
way, Mr. Ireland, your comments were phenomenal, and thank you for making them. And it's great to hear that you've been using Ven's product.
Yeah. So just one other thing, so the other thing that is going to take a little bit more work, and it's going to be much more specific to individual customers, which is also a potential for an advanced kind of technology, is that, and it goes into some of the questions that were asked. I don't know what question to ask. Well, if you hit learn more, Ava can then ask you questions. Do you want to learn about this, this, or this? What is your, you know, here we can narrow down what maybe you're thinking about asking. Because you hit a learn more button, the location of that learn more button knows you might be interested in something specific. So, you know, give me any bit flooring, okay, it was something we were talking about. If there's a learn more, it knows, you know, and this adds context to it. It knows that you are in the hardwood floor section that you want to learn more about, right? So it might ask you a question of, I see you're interested in hardwood floors. Is your question relating to product quality, this, that? You know, it can actually contextually then give you some things to think about that you might want to answer because of where you actually pressed the learn more button.
Very cool. We have time for one more. If somebody's got something on the tip of their tongue, we're coming up on almost 9:55. I want to leave time for our traditional last question of the day for Ven from us. If there are no more questions, or
I do have one comment real quick. So putting my marketing hat on, listening to John's Ireland speak, since we have so many Johns, then what you need to do is you need to have someone like John Ireland, your flooring person, speak exactly to how they are using the product. because that is how you're going to get other businesses to understand what they're doing. John Ireland just spoke very eloquently, said exactly what things need to do. You need to get that on video so that you can get that up as part of those testimonials, especially if they're on video and people can see that these are real people and not actors, paid actors or whatever. Though that's absolutely what you're going to need in your marketing strategy. That's what I've got.
Agreed.
Melinda, last shot, if short.
Sure, really short. And it's just strategic. And it goes back to, I think flooring is a great place as your launch place to take off, and all the industries that are in the service business like that. And getting in front of these groups and getting testimonials, and as everybody is saying, and being the go-to person to answer questions about AI and where do you start. And it's a really good focus point of, we know that this is new in this industry, and you can do this with any industry. You could say you want to go after associations, which might be another thing, and you go to ASAE and you go to be one of the topics at their annual trade show. And just pick some industries you want to start going after, and it's AI, where do I start? How do I add this to customer service? How do I add this to information? And you'll do some breakout sessions, but you might also be a big keynote speaker. And because AI is a hot topic, and if you look at anything right now, that's where the growth is. AI is going to change the way we all do everything. We'll look back in a couple of years and say, "Oh my goodness," because it's almost bigger than the internet. I mean, because it's the interface, it's the blood.
Well, Melinda, let me ask our traditional final question. Ven, can you take a moment and think about what the assembled multitude here can do to help you today?
Well, first, let me thank you again for the opportunity given. I think all the feedback that I heard from you all today has been great. I've been making notes, and I have boatload of action items. So you've been very helpful, as I mentioned, over the years. So hopefully, I will be in touch with some of you on a one-on-one basis to follow up on your questions, your comments, your advices. So we'll be in touch.
We will all make ourselves available to you as best we can. It is a real pleasure and a privilege to be a contribution to your business and to watch the growth over time by your returning and telling us the improvements and growth in your business and the expansion of your story. It's 9:57. Melinda, can you shut down the recording?
I can do that.